Hi, this is Nanette Hosenfeld with the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Monday, October 16th, 2016. Looking at precipitation over the past month, you can see the image on the left, which shows the past 2 weeks. Really, we've been quite dry over the past 2 weeks across the Great Basin. Much of the area has been below normal as far as precipitation for the past 2 weeks. That changes a bit looking back at the past 30 days. You can see that the early part of this 30-day period was quite wet across the north, but we really have trended much drier over the past 2 weeks. Satellite this morning shows some weak high pressure across the Great Basin, and we are looking at westerly flow across the area. With that westerly flow in place and the building high pressure, you can see that the ventilation is very low across pretty much the entire area today. Really poor mixing across the Great Basin with that building high pressure. Looking at that in a bit more detail, the transport winds, which is the image on the left, show very light winds across the entire area, especially across the western half of the Great Basin. Mixing heights are also very low across the area. As we move into Tuesday, that changes a little bit. There's a disturbance that brushes by to the north of the area, and that'll help improve the ventilation index slightly moving into Tuesday. Looking at Tuesday, again, you can see those transport winds there on the left do pick up a bit with that weather system moving to our north, but mixing heights do remain quite low on Tuesday. Moving into Wednesday, we start to see that high pressure rebounding with the ridge rebuilding across the area. And so on Wednesday, we will continue to see poor to fair mixing across much of the Great Basin. Again, looking at that in more detail, you can see with that building high pressure, transport winds will be quite light across the southern 2/3 of the Great Basin, and mixing heights will be low in those same areas. So looking at the 3-day forecast clearing index from the National Weather Service in Salt Lake City, you can see really poor mixing across much of the area through at least Wednesday. 3-day precipitation accumulation is quite light, with really not much expected in the way of precipitation across the area. On Thursday, the picture will change quite dramatically. A strong system is forecast to begin making its way into the area, and we will see winds increase ahead of that system. With those increasing winds, the ventilation index will improve dramatically on Thursday. That makes its way through the area on Friday, with another day of good to excellent mixing across the area. And on Saturday, we start to see high pressure building behind that system, which will lead to a decrease in those ventilation indices. And finally, on Sunday, we see much of the same conditions with that high pressure in place across the Great Basin. Looking at the precipitation accumulation in the 4 to 5 day period, you can see it's much wetter than that 3-day period slide that we just saw, with pretty much the entire Great Basin forecast to receive some precipitation in that 4 to 5 day period. Finally, looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook, the Climate Prediction Center is calling for above normal temperatures across the entire area, with below normal precipitation in that 8 to 14 day period, which will take us out through October 29th. So that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Our information is on the screen, and you can also find us on Twitter. Thanks.